Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Excuse these swatches from my winter color story, and I even made my nails kind of have that icicle effect. But today I want to show you my eyeshadow, my Deep Potted eyeshadow collection. I currently have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 palettes with all of my Deep Potted or single shadows, and I just want to show you how I organize them. So I have 3 of these Adept palettes. This is the black one. You have to excuse how dirty it is. This is the black one, and I can't even remember what colors I put in here. Okay, so here we go. We have the red, yellow, green section of the rainbow here. In this collection there's a lot of Juvia's Place, there's a lot of Color Pop in the green section. There are some Luxie shadows here, which I think are the 2 that are cracked. These big squares are from Menagerie Cosmetics. And over here, these small square pans are from the Urban Decay Born to Run. And of course these little ones are from Color Pop palettes. So yeah, that's what's in the black. It's the first part of the spectrum of colors. So that's how I organize these. And actually my daughter helped me organize these by color. She has a really good eye for color, so I recruited her help for this project. This next one, we decided to use warm tone browns. It might not be perfect, but this is kind of how we organize this. So the really warm tone browns all went into this palette. I wanted to separate the browns and the neutrals, like whites and blacks, so that whites, blacks, and silvers, so that I knew kind of what my collection looked like. So these are warm tone browns. And then right here in this Z palette, oh, by the way, this is from Coastal Scents. This is a Z palette. I think this is a large. It's either large or extra large, I can't remember. You'll see these 2 shades from the Nubian 2 that I hit pan in a couple months ago by panning Modern Renaissance. So these are the more cool tone brown neutral colors. I also have this Juvia's Place magnetic palette, which I personally love. I don't know what it is. I really like the aesthetics of the design and the fact that it's so big. And so because it has black and white, I put the blacks, whites, and silver, just really icy shades in here. And that's what that looks like. These are from, I think, the Misunderstood palette by Color Pop. I think that one is too, probably that one too. And some other blacks that I have, like there's the Noir from Soft Glam by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I believe I have some shades. Yeah, these are from the Flawless palette by Makeup Revolution. And I think I have some of these from Crown Brushes. They sell individual eyeshadows and they're really large pans. So I think that one is from that collection. That one might be as well. And I know for sure these 3 down here. Now I have this peach color palette. Well, it's like a blush color. And in here we have pinks and like the metallics. So I didn't really know where to put the pinks on the spectrum, and I didn't know where to put the metallics, so I just kind of put them all in here since I didn't know what to do with them. I have pan here. This is from the Nubian palette. I'm about to hit pan in that one. That's also from the Nubian palette by Juvia's Place. And I was surprised by how many just bright, vibrant pinks I had. Like, look at this. Your eye is immediately drawn here and here just because of those bright pinks. And I have some shades from Menagerie Cosmetics. And last but not least, if you watched my video on my curated palette, you'll have seen this one, which is the blues and the purples, which I love so much. I don't know why I put it in the pink Adept palette, but you know, that's what it is. I plan on buying some more Adept palettes. They're not too expensive. I think I paid like anywhere between $25 and $32 on Amazon.com, and I think I need about 3 more, and I'll show you why. Here are all the reasons why I have not finished my depotting collection, and I'll kind of explain why. So these big Morphe palettes, this is the 39S, such a gem palette. Oh, I love this palette so much. This color story is beautiful and amazing. I've got a lot of use out of this palette. And also, probably my favorite palette in my collection, ironically, is the James Charles and Morphe palette, which I love. There's just nothing else to say. I just love this friggin' palette. So both of these, since they're slim and they hold so many eyeshadows, this is 39 eyeshadows in both of them, I didn't really feel like I needed to depot them. I would need a whole Adept palette, the same Adept palette, in order to hold all of these. And alright guys, sorry about that. I had to change the battery in my camera. Anyway, I was saying that the James Charles palette and the Morphe palette are organized so well. There's almost 40 shades in them. I kind of don't feel like I need to depot these, but I might change my mind about that. Next, we have the Paradise eyeshadow palette from Joy Lorraine, which I really, really like. You can see I constantly go into this because it's such an icy, like silvery white shade, and I just really enjoy this palette. This one I would want to depot just because I really don't see a reason not to, but I really like this palette. I bought it because of Amy Loves Makeup, and yeah, I bought this because of Amy, and I'm glad I did. Next, I have the Pinky Rose Bright Lights palette, and I really love this palette, but this is one that I wouldn't mind depotting. If you can see, oh god, you can see me. You can see here that it has this weird shaped mirror. Otherwise, I have no complaints about the packaging. It's just weird that the mirror is like this, but I really like this palette too. I don't reach for it often, but I like the fact that I have brights if I want them. Is the Tammy by Revolution, the Tropical Carnival palette. I do like this palette. I don't reach for it often. I made a review video on why I don't reach for it that often, but the quality of the shadows is like mid-range. They're not bad. I think it's good for beginners who are just getting into color, and that it would be helpful for them to learn with this palette as opposed to some of the more expensive options from brands like ABH and whatnot. Oh yeah, but then the packaging is just gonna be a pain in my ass to depot this because there's hardly any gaps in here to get a palette knife into. I tried it's fit really tight in there. So I don't know if I'll be depotting this one either. Next up, we have the Icy Betch palette from Tarte. This is the only Tarte palette that I own or have ever bought. And here you go. It has a nice big mirror, and it has, what is it, 9 shades? 10. So 9 eyeshadow shades, and then this icy, I think it was supposed to be a highlighter. It smells divine. Will I depot it? I have no idea, because this is going to be a problem depotting as well. And I actually, because it's so small, I really like this curated color story. I made my own icy curated color story for the winter season, but if I had to pick a backup, I would pick this one as like my winter color story. Okay, next up in my collection is the Grime palette by NYX. This came out in sometime in 2018, and people were really hyped about this, but the problem with these, like, I tried to make it work. God, you can see me. I tried to make this color story, like, I like the color story because it's like Subculture, which I already own, but I figured, like, if I can find something that's easier to work with than Subculture, at the time I was still kind of struggling with Subculture, then that would be great. The problem is that some of these shimmers in this palette are super crumbly. Like, this is such a pretty shade, but it crumbles all over the place, and it's really frustrating. I have no complaint about the mattes. They perform really well. It's just the shimmers that are such a big disappointment that I don't even reach for this palette. So I've actually thought about decluttering this palette. Alright, next up is my Visearts palette. This is the Cool Mattes 2. I just really like this color story. It has these purples, which I love. It has these cool tone blues and some neutral colors over here. I just really like this color story, even though I honestly haven't really used it. I think I've maybe used it like 2 or 3 times. So I gotta use this more, because this is an $80 palette and I don't want it to go to waste. So yeah, I gotta remember to use that. And I probably won't depot it, just because it's already in its own self-contained magnetic palette. I kind of think it would be pointless to depot it. All right, so next is the Paulina by Blush Tribe, and honestly, I didn't depot this just because I don't have the heart to. Paulina is one of my favorite beauty YouTubers, and this color story was different, but I really liked it. I think it speaks a lot about her personal makeup aesthetic, and I just love the packaging so much that it's one of the few products that I'm keeping intact, just because of the product. Like, just because, you know, it's Paulina. It has her artwork, this digital rendering of her, and I'm not depotting this. Then next we have the Creepy Cute palette by Shroud Cosmetics. It says Strobe, but they are now Shroud Cosmetics, and this is what the Creepy Cute palette looks like. I've had my eye on this palette for almost, well, it's been like a year. I've been thinking about buying it. The price kind of put me off, but I finally decided to just jump in and use it. The only 2 shades I've used out of here are Void and Planchette, which I enjoyed both of them. I really like this palette. I just haven't had time to really do anything with it. But soon I'm going to do something with it. And then last but definitely not least is Subculture. Now, I had 2 other Anastasia palettes. I finished up Modern Renaissance. It's somewhere over there. And then I also have Soft Glam. I depotted Soft Glam. I completely panned Modern Renaissance. And so now there's just Subculture in its original packaging. I have pan in some shades. I have pan in Cube, Dawn, Edge, and I think I had pan in Electric, but that shade is weird. So yeah, the thing is, I love this color story together so much that I don't think I have the guts to depot it. And this is probably the next palette that I should be panning. If I change my mind, I will, but man, I don't want Subculture to go anywhere because I had heard it's going to be discontinued. I don't know, I like it so much, and I feel like Subculture, my use of Subculture is when I really learn how to apply eyeshadow, because I had to work to make these work, and I think I got better as I forced myself to make these work. So yeah, it's one of those, like this Paulina palette that I will probably never depot just because I love them so much as is. Like, I could have bought these colors from the Creepy Cute palette in a bundle. She had a bundle up. But it was just like $5 cheaper to get this packaging. So I don't mind depotting that. But yeah, for these three, I'm so sentimental. Well, yeah, this was a birthday present to myself, so I'm kind of sentimental about that. But these two especially, I'm too sentimental about to depot. And the rest of them, like the James Charles palette and Such a Gem palette, I just don't see a reason why I should depot them. And for the rest, it's kind of like, you know, aside from this one, everything else will probably get depotted. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 palettes that I still have left to depot. And guys, that is my entire eyeshadow collection as it is. Hopefully I'll get these other palettes out. But yeah, tell me what you think. Like, what are your thoughts on depotting eyeshadows and having a singles collection? I'm really interested to know, like, have you depotted and had depotter's regret? So far I don't really have it, though. When I have my nails long, I kind of do regret having depotted, because I think some of the packaging does save them from getting punctured as easily. That's the only thing I can say. But anyway, I've talked for long enough, and I will see you guys soon in the next video. Bye!